The best trader in the world ever is President Donald Trump, and he's got a major warning for us, major topping signal warning. Should we take that warning? Look at this. This is how good Trump is as a trader. He out-traded all the biggest Nasdaq listed, stock market listed US crypto firms in 2025. Like, he's just doing this in his spare time, right? Whilst he's so busy running the country, running the world, he's doing a little bit of trading on the side, and he beats all the Nasdaq listed companies. Like Coinbase made $1.2 billion. Nothing compared to Trump. He makes $1.4 billion in crypto in his sleep, right? CleanSpark, Irene, all these big names. Some of them like Hut 8, Core Scientific, Bitfarm, they're even losing money. But Trump just making $1.4 billion. That's only in crypto. In stocks, it's even more. It's like I think he may combine $2.2 billion in his spare time. Spare time, man. And he's got a big warning top signal for all of us. You better pay attention to the best trader in the world and to the most powerful man in the world. When he's saying, maybe this is the topping signal, you should be paying attention. He's basically said this. This is my Discord, by the way. Someone has posted this in my Discord. It says, Trump is going to bring an Australian-style retirement model. What they do in Australia is because they have something called compulsory super, which means 12% of your salaries will be paid into managed funds. What do they mean by managed funds? They mean the stock market. They mean SP 500, the Nasdaq. Yes, even those Aussie retirement super funds buys the Nasdaq, the SP 500. And critics warn compulsory employee contributions could affect America differently from Australia, right? So that means, let's say if you make $1,000, for argument's sake, if you make $1,000 a week, your employer, whether it's McDonald's or JP Morgan or Citibank, whoever you work for, would have to take 12% of that, $120, and put it into the stock market. What do they put it in? I think you can nominate your funds. Usually people just go with the industry super funds. For example, if you work for McDonald's, then it's the retailers. Then it's the what do they call, food retail services super fund. If you work for Citibank, then it's the bank sector super fund, and they just invest 12% into SP 500, into Nasdaq, into maybe some American government bonds, and in this case, a little bit of Australian government bonds. Believe me, many people have tried to take their money out in Australia. It's not impossible, but it's just really difficult. So most people have their money sitting in there, and it's basically just lifting up the stock market, the Aussie stock market, and at least half of the money would go into the US stock market. But okay, let's talk about US. Why is this a topping signal? This is a topping signal because Trump also introduced the Trump accounts for kids. The Trump accounts for kids, as I said over the last 3 videos, is also looking like exit liquidity. All of this just looks like exit liquidity for the US stock market, right? For Wall Street, for the rich billionaires. Because look, Trump account, you can contribute into it, but you can't take it out until the child turns 18. And it only applies for children who are born between 2025 to 2028. So basically 3-year-olds or newborns or 1-year-olds right now, and they can't take it out until they're 18. So which is what, like 16 years from now, which is 2042, right? You as parents, you can contribute that money, but you can't take it out for another 18 years. Right? As workers, you have to contribute that money. Legally, you have to contribute that money, but you can't take that money out. You cannot take that money out until you retire. I think that's the way it works in Australia. It's very hard to take that money out until you retire, right? That's the kind of discussions we have in our Discord anyway. So again, exit liquidity. So when it goes into the stock market, who's going to be, like the US stock market looks like this, by the way, right? You should have done this compulsory shit when the market was like down here after the 2008-2009 crash. When the market was down here, or at least when it was going sideways for all those years, right? 2000 crash, 2019 GFC crash, around here, yeah, make this compulsory thing, force people to invest when it was low, or even around here when it was climbing. When the US stock market is doing this, at this stage, you make the parents, say if you have a child born between 2025 to 2028, if you have a newborn or a 2-year-old or do the patriotic thing. Do the patriotic thing and invest in the fucking stock market now, and don't take it out. You can't take it out legally for another 16, 18 years until your child turns 18. If you're working now, put your money into the stock market at this blow off top. Put it in now, and it'll be government mandated. If your employer, whether it's Citibank, JP Morgan, or McDonald's, I don't care who you work for, don't do it. It's illegal. The company gets fined. They put the 12% in a blow off top situation like this, not down here, but up here as exit liquidity for all the billionaires to get out. Right? And why do I say it's exit liquidity? What other topping signals am I seeing here, Pablo? By the way, I'm not bearish on the US market in the short term. In the next few weeks or even month, I still think it has room to run because of this exit liquidity, because your money, your parents' money, your neighbor's money coming in to support the final blow off top in the stock market. But in the next year or two, watch out, right? What other topping signals do we see? Well, see, I was scrolling through the internet yesterday, and I saw this little ad pop up. What is this ad? As I was watching the internet, it's basically a ETF for SK Hynix 2x using leverage. These are stocks, not crypto. Using stocks to basically give you a 2x leverage to trade SK Hynix. And what is SK Hynix? Well, if you're in my Discord, you should already know this. Well, SK Hynix is probably arguably the leading AI stock in the world right now. And you're like, oh, well, that should be NVIDIA. Not really, because NVIDIA makes GPUs, but Samsung and SK Hynix are basically the top two memory makers in the world. They make DRAM and especially HBM, high bandwidth memory. And they're bigger than Micron, bigger than SanDisk. And look at this crazy run. Basically, since early 2005, they've gone on like a 20x run. These are large semiconductor chip stocks to begin with. They're not small stocks. They've gone on a 20x run, right? Even under when they're huge stocks. So as we can see, you've got this. They're not even listed on the US. See their symbol is this 000660, right? Meaning they're like US stocks aren't listed like that. This is just listed only on the Korean exchange. See the Korean exchange, right? And now they've I think 2 days ago, on last Thursday or Friday, they listed on the US stock exchange, right? And not only so, somebody's created an ETF saying now you can trade it using leverage. Remember, this is not crypto. You can't just go on some major exchange and use like 5x, 20x, 100x leverage. So on the US stock market, what happens is now they're giving you the chance to trade with leverage. And like, look at the chart. Look at the chart of this SK Hynix. It's already had a 20x run. Everybody in the world, by the way, these two companies, Samsung and SK Hynix, here they are. Samsung and SK Hynix, they make up 2/3 of the Korean stock market. Like all the companies in Korea, Samsung, like LG, Hyundai, all those companies, all combined make up 1/3. These two companies make up 2/3. That's how big they are, right? And after a 20x run like this, it already looks like some sort of topping pattern. Could be a major, what you might call it, a shoulder, head, shoulder pattern. Like imagine this. This could be a major, some sort of shoulder, head, shoulder here, right? Like shoulder, head, shoulder pattern with a massive crash back down. That could be what's happening here. And yet it finally makes it. The best memory makers in the world finally makes it onto the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq finally starts doing a 2x leverage trade on SK Hynix. Everything about this just smacks of topping signal. Because remember when Bitcoin listed? Do you remember when Bitcoin was actually listed? Bitcoin futures was listed on CME exactly at the top. Okay, the date is December 18, 2017. December 18, 2017. What's this? What does that say on the chart? December 18, 2017. December 18, 2017. That's exact bear market top, right? You're like, oh, that's not much of a drop. Yeah, that's because it's a logarithmic chart, dude. log chart, dude. This is the drop. 2018, December 18, 2017. Let me put it on the daily so we can see it even better. Right? Like all these things are usually topping signals. Like this is a worry. What is this date? December 18 is here. December 18, 2017, right? December 18, 2017 is this date on the Monday. So Bitcoin lists on the CME finally. See, the same story. Bitcoin being a crypto community asset finally makes it to the big time, listed on a major American exchange, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, largest futures exchange in the world, right? And then boom, right? What happens? That's the top. What's the price here? 20,000. A year later, what's the bottom? 3,000. So 85% drop, right? So now you have the same thing, and you're giving retail leverage. It's all the fucking signs of a top, right? Here, what's happening here? It's SK Hynix. You've already had, if there's two stocks that led this entire bull run in AI memory, it's basically SK Hynix and Samsung. It's already looking dubious with this kind of a pullback, right? This is like from 30,000 to 18. That's like a 40% pullback, right? 40% pullback. I think we get a lazy shoulder bounce like this. That could be the top of this whole market, and you're still listing on American major exchange on the Nasdaq, and you're giving people leverage. It's the exact same story. Okay, I'll say it again. Bitcoin, right, finally goes from crypto only to be listed on a major American exchange, largest American futures exchange, largest exchange in the world, right? And then goes on, tops the day lists, and then goes on to crash 85%, as we can see in this chart. Now, same thing happens when the leading AI memory chip, AI hardware stock goes and lists on the largest American exchange. Once again, the largest American exchange, which is Nasdaq, right? And they give you leverage, just like Bitcoin on CME. They're giving you leverage to trade futures of Bitcoin. They're now giving you leverage to trade SK Hynix, right? Like this could be a lazy shoulder, and boom, we go down. Like if we use symmetry, this shoulder here is June 11th to here, May the 8th, which is 1 month and 3 days. So this bounce, if we go 1 month and 3 days, will be August 16th. Would be bounce something like this, August 16th, around here, right? Breakdown, and then boom, 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 screw around here, and then go down in September. Then bear market trend confirmed. That would be real bad. And look at this. This is the semiconductors index. It is also forming possibly a topping head and shoulders, right? There are two ways this can form. This can be the head and shoulders here as well, right? So far, I have to say, it's not confirmed. None of this is confirmed. This can be head and shoulders, right? And shoulder, boom, breakdown. Or this can be head and shoulders, and boom, bounce, breakdown, right? Either way, it's not confirmed yet. So I don't want people to panic just yet, but I am giving people early warnings just in case this happens. Let's have a look at the SPY chart. Overall, the SP 500 is still looking okay. Like, in fact, it's basically doing a bull flag. As I was saying, right, here is the flagpole, here is the flag. That's SP 500. The SOX, that's just the semiconductors ETF, which is obviously very important. This is the SP 500, right? This is the most important chart out there, and it looks like we are breaking through. That was the close on Friday. On Monday, if we continue doing this and make a new high, that could be very important. As I was saying, I was expecting 3 weekly red candles, and we come back and hit this massive trend line, but we got to bounce off this trend line. If we don't bounce off this trend line, then we're in big trouble. We've had 4, missed it by one red bar, right? And then big bounce, and now it's looking like bull flag and take off. Look, for your sake, for my sake, for everybody's sake, I hope this is the case. I don't want to be bearish. I have to present you all the facts that I see, the warnings that are coming on you have major leverage trade on a hyped up stock like SK Hynix. You have a president who's basically the best crypto trader in the world. Like, these are all, if the market top in 2026, in 3 years afterwards, 2 years afterwards, when we look back after a massive crash, we're going to say to ourselves, well, there were multiple signs. There were a number of topping signs, topping signals everywhere. For end of umpire top, for a top that major bear market, this kind of top, you don't just get one topping signal. You're going to get a bunch of them. Are you paying attention or not? I'm not prepared to call the top just yet, but I am seeing topping signals, and I hope folks get ready. In the next 6 months, maybe even 12 months, we continue the bull run, but then it gets very, very dangerous after that. I'll continue to give you guys warnings as we go.
Pablo just showed you the exact day Bitcoin topped after its CME listing, December 18th, 2017, and the 85% crash that followed. He tracks these topping signals every week inside the community. 12 months for the price of 10, link in the description.